up with the idea of this song, Black Fathers, because any connotation with black fathers is often met with a lot of negativity. So I know too many good men who are great fathers that are black men. And that was one of my reasons for just wanting to do this thing. And the brothers I know that happen to be lyricists and MCs and artists themselves are one of the reasons I want to put this together and kind of document everything and, present it for the world. The world needs to see this.
First of all, just say thank you to D.West Music for inviting me on this track and actually just giving me the opportunity to contribute to this song.
I just brought my skills and gifts to the table, pretty much.
I was one of the MCs that Mr. West, I like saying that. I like saying, Mr. West, when I call it. He asked me to be on this track. It was pretty exciting just to get that text message.
I was asked by a good friend of mine, D.West Music256, to be a part of a song that is honoring fathers, a depiction of how we see black fatherhood. So I was really excited when I heard it was something that he wanted to do. I think it's important.
In the R&B soul realm would be people like Stevie Wonder, Quincy Jones, producers like Timbaland, Dre, Teddy Riley is one of my favorite ones, Babyface. But as far as hip hop is concerned, my favorite MC of all time is Rakim. You got people like KRS-One and LL Cool J, but those are some of my musical influences.
KRS-One, LL Cool J, Ice Cube, Rakim, Slick Rick, Dougie, Buff, because I used to beatbox too, so.
I come out of a background where 70s and 80s, where there seemed to be a lot of love and soul and caring in the music, and so that background just kind of carried over to me and into my delivery style. Not so much the rap influence, because there are just a lot of rappers that I do like, but their influence in my delivery, it just never came across. The thing that came across was the stuff from the 70s and the 80s. And so I would say that, Earth, Wind and Fire, Frankie Beverly and Maze, and if I had to throw some MCs in there, probably maybe, Eminem and Busta Rhymes, probably that style that I liked, but just doesn't show up in my delivery.
Well, I have a lot of musical influences. I would have to say, initially, my biggest influence was Take 6. That's where I got a lot of my training as far as understanding parts and the complexities of arrangements. My favorite artist, I'd have to say, is D'Angelo. I think that he's a sophisticated mind when it comes to music. My newest favorite artist is P.J. Morton. He's really good. So I would say I'm more interested in the complexities of music. It's what I'm, looking for now.
His East Coast style and rap was a great influence, but it wasn't until Outkast came out, I really took to the Andre 3000's writing style. Absolute, I'm a fan. Him and an artist who went by Zev Love X in a group called KMD ended up as an independent artist going by the name of MF Doom. There's a lot of the rhyming was just crazy to me, and his whole presentation. So definitely 3000 and MF Doom.
Well, I came up with the idea, and I think it was, something God wanted me to do, and He put me around and gave me the ideas of who could be a part of the first volume, and which includes Adrian Abrams, Age the Wise One. I've been knowing him since I've been 15. Got my boy Constantine Tripp, been knowing him since the late 90s. My boy Kwesi Jackson, Kwesi The Emcee, been knowing him for a while, and very impressed with, where he's gone lyrically, and since he stepped into the music game, a lot of the noise he's made, I'm proud of him. And William Bolden, Beeve, been knowing him for the longest through Dino and the Toy Soldiers. The brother is an awesome vocalist. The brother, has a voice that's second to none, in my opinion. And all of these brothers happen to be awesome black men and awesome fathers. And I'm happy and privileged and honored to have them to be a part of this project.
I wouldn't have any clue other than, the love that D and I have for each other, and the grace that God has toward me. There's no other reason that I should be a part of this other than God's grace. And so for that, I'm really thankful and humbled by the fact that on the track with 4 other brothers that are definitely gifted artists. And I wouldn't put myself in their category at all, but I'm thankful that God allowed me to be a part of it. And very humble to that they would even allow themselves to be put on the same track with me. So I definitely thankful about that.
Friendship. And with that friendship, knowing who I am as a person and knowing that I am a father myself, that's why I believe I was chosen.
I'd like to think that I was chosen because it was divine providence. Because I don't really have enough material out there for someone to go, oh man, that's the greatest rapper alive. Like, he needs to be on every track I got. I don't really have that kind of material. So I think it could have been some of the little bit of material I have out. But I think the biggest part, I like to think it was a God thing, like God touching Daniel's heart, saying, okay, so he can rap a little, but he's a dad, and he seems to be an involved dad. I think all those things together, I'd like to think that's what it was.
Well, I provided the vocals for the hook and some ad-libs. My approach is always to listen to the content of the song and find ways to connect my heart to whoever's performing on the song. Really searching for cohesiveness and just a flow that people can follow effortlessly. So I try to be very simple in my lyrics. Not that people are simple. I just feel like sometimes simplicity is complexity. I don't know. That's just my thoughts.
Writing this song, I started to think, and I wrote some lyrics, and I was, I was bringing in all these different styles after I wrote about 3 verses, trying on all these different styles. I was like, no, that's not getting the point across. It's getting the delivery for sure, and you definitely flipping something, but I didn't. Once I was done, I didn't feel it, and so that to me has caused me to bring the music the way that I brought it.
My particular approach and my verse was a picture that I took and I had in my cell phone that I ran across, and it was a picture of 3 generations of my father, me, and my daughter. And as I say in my verse, I just was starting to build a relationship with my father when I was 38 years old, and a couple of years later he passed on. And I kind of wanted to document how I felt and that whole thing of that whole part of my life being lived, without him, and then all of a sudden we're being well grown and him suddenly being in my life. So that was, I kind of wanted to talk about that a little bit and share that.
I really like to see it as a picture. Like, you can give me a word, and that word is going to give me an image. And then I want to make that image very clear for someone. And even in the metaphors, I really like to approach it like that. I'm just painting a picture. And so the picture was fatherhood. So then I got to go what it meant to me and how I got to approach fathering from my standpoint. And it was my introduction to Christ. And so when my line starts with I died, and I really wanted it the punch of I died. I literally died to myself in my own ways. I don't approach fathering from what was an experience with a step parent, my own father. I don't approach it like that. Mine was go from scratch, and that scratch was the Word of God. That's really where I like to take it from. So inspiration was all, God.
My children. My verse was really a conversation with my kids. I wanted to just talk to them about how I felt about becoming a father. Be honest, be open, be respectful. I think we as adults, let alone fathers, feel like we don't have to be respectful to children. We should show children respect. And if you show children respect, they'll respect you back.
Considering fatherhood, or anyone else who has found themselves in the midst of fatherhood, the advice would be the same. Honestly realize that the life that you had before, all that freedom you had before, that time doesn't belong to you anymore, because you now have people who need that time, because they are definitely just sponges, and they will soak up whatever is around them. And if you're not around them to give it to them, well, God only knows what they will soak up. So, once you have children, however they came to be, you need to realize that they need your time and your effort. I mean, like your undivided attention. Because myself, I spent a lot of time truly chasing money and then chasing around this world for other people, making their money. And you think, okay, I'm making some money, but my children are 5, 16, 20. Next thing you know, they grown. And yeah, they had a good life as far as humanity is concerned. They traveled, they've flown, they lived, they've eaten. But I wasn't, present the way I should have been. So if I can give any advice to any new fathers or anyone else, that's what I would give your children, your undivided attention.
New father needs to, I think, and I'm probably echoing what I've heard, like all the guys say. I really respect what they're saying. Listening to them, getting to know what they know, being a part of what goes into them. I've asked, recently had some student-led conferences at school, and I listened to the parents grilling their kids like, you're supposed to be able to tell me what your day was like and what you've gone over. And the kids didn't know. Like, they couldn't, what'd you do in choir yesterday? Oh, we sang. What'd you sing? I don't remember. You're just showing up. And so I think that an involved father, their kid feels the open door. Like, I can come tell my dad anything, because he's not going to jump on me right away. He's going to listen to me and provide some guidance from there. And so I think it's listening. Make sure you try to keep the relationship with the mom amicable. If you're not together, all that fighting, that stuff's it's reckless, and it hurts a child in the long run. So if you can keep the family together, great. But even if it's not, man, that child's a priority. That they have to be the priority. That's God's way.
The advice I would give to new fathers is to make sure you're present with your children, spend time with them. and be understanding. Don't be so hard on them, because you made a lot of mistakes yourself. Just be present, be understanding, be loving, be nurturing, but also be firm. Let them know when they're wrong, and don't let up off of them when they don't need to be let up off of. And so that's some insight. That's some advice I would give to new fathers.
The main advice I would give to a new father is to listen to your children. And of course, when they start speaking and all of those things, and they're able to express themselves, give them the space to grow into their own personality. I learned so much from my children when they were able to finally say what they thought about me. That changed my whole life. To be able to hear another person's view of who they think you are, I think is critical, especially your children, because they basically get most things from you. And I'm grateful that my children felt comfortable to share their heart with me. So I would advise fathers, families, people, communities to start really opening up their ears and listening to their children. Don't treat them like they don't have anything to say. I just want to say thank you for allowing me to be a part of this project. I'm always excited to meet new friends and see what God is going to do from this place here. So, thank you.
I think sometimes I like to consider myself. I really like to think that everybody on this project would consider themselves a keeper of the flame of sorts. Like I say this, and I don't know like what people would think about it, but I don't guess I care too much. But I like to consider myself a keeper of the hip hop flame, meaning some of the aesthetics of hip hop need to remain. Like like when we go to barbecues and we have family reunions, and they play Frankie Beverly, Mays and Frankie Beverly. When they play that, like if somebody didn't play that for me, like how do my kids know that song when they hear it, or appreciate the energy, the love, the creativity that went into music like that? How do they get that? It's because someone holds on to it, and they got to be the keepers of that flame and pass it on. I do the same thing with my faith. At some point, my grandmother, my mom, my dad, my granddad, they love God so much, and they're the keepers of that flame. They pass it on to me. I'm going to pass it on to someone else. And I think that has to happen. Like, everybody on this track is a keeper of the flame, and we're putting this stuff, I guess it's digital. We're going to put it on. It's not wax anymore, but we're going to put it down, and it's going to pass on. And it's going to pass on. And hopefully it'll just keep passing on.
Yeah, just keep on keeping on. Don't give up. Work on your health. Try to do the best you can to make sure you don't create ways for you not to be here for your kids. And that's it.
Because of what you said, you pointed out something that you felt like was important that you initially didn't do.
Right.
But ultimately, that not knowing that, okay, I got to do this, brought you all to a place of great relationship. That's what I felt. And his intro, all he had to say was, I died, and then I was like, all right, here we go, let's go. All right, we ready?
Yeah.
I just like your cadence is amazing.
It's the delivery versus the words, because if you say it lost, somehow it loses soul, and that we're just rapping it, is it that we're just, so that means scrap the lyrics, or is it the delivery? You know what I'm saying? Because
it's not even the delivery. Like I was telling him,
his delivery is spot on. That's not even.
Which verse was that?
The last verse.
Oh yeah.
Your delivery. Everybody.
I tell him, God, don't like scrap mine because that was just the
The
locking
cadence.
into.
Yeah.
That was what I locked into. It was the.
Yeah. Cadence, right.
Yeah,
Eminem,
I think
Chopper,
adding
whatever you
the-
want to
Yeah,
call
so
it.
that's why I was wondering, like, because when we recorded, I kept saying, like this was our conversation was Daniel says, hey, I think maybe you're coming out hard, and I said, hey, that's generally what I do because even with them in there, I had this anxiety about spitting it because when I'm alone in the booth, I have anxiety about the approach. I'm already thinking about the listeners, so my approach is like I'm shaking on my own. And so I had to get through that a couple of times. So then I think the general consensus was at the end of the day, no, hit them with, just come out with it like that.
Yeah.
Solid sentence. But if it's
About movement of the track.
I think that's
Track maybe needed good
some more stuff in it, and that's something me and you were talking about.
Track needed a little something, but
Yeah.
I don't. Even if you just took the track away and we just stood up there and rapped, then what heart do you feel coming out of it? Get rid of everything, everything that no mix down, no
Right.
nothing,
Can-
just the
can
person
do-
standing
yeah.
up there rapping. What do you hear?
What
What
do
do
you
you
hear?
feel?
Yeah.
What comes from it? Because we rap differently when we don't have music. When you just have just yourself, you become the instrument and it's coming out of you. Once you get a track and you start, then now I'm riding the track, right? And so I'm trying to rap versus I'm trying to,
say a message.
to relay a message. That's it.
This is solid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like sometimes sequencing will mess up the feel
Yeah,
of the song.
yeah, the arrangement, and that's why I was saying, I just wanted everybody to hear what everybody sounded like on it. You know what I'm saying? Which was like just a first. Orders can rearrange. You know what I'm saying, and different instrumentations here and there.
Right. It's not being released.
Yeah, no. It's gonna be some work. So I'm gonna spend some time with it. You know what I'm saying, and really dig deep in trying to bring that heart
But I
and
think,
soul.
these opinions are great though because it'll add a different focus when we get back in and
Yeah.
try to accomplish what.
3 things that a man can tell a boy is be a man because he's a boy, and or telling him that he shouldn't cry, he shouldn't tap into that emotion, so they implode. We blow up in here, and so I definitely try to pattern when my son would fall or something. How we try to make them laugh through it, like to try to act like, what does it hurt to cry, like that, because I know I'd been trained to believe it just wasn't a good thing to show the emotion. So he'd fall and I go, hey, hey, try to make him laugh through some pain and act like it didn't hurt. No, it hurt, and you cry and you can wipe it off and keep going.
Like I said, I can't remember if it was early middle school or late elementary when I said I wasn't gonna cry anymore. But it was a day I was in middle school. I remember this vividly. I was in 6th grade. There was a substitute teacher that was there that day, and I was talking to a couple of my classmates, and he was just talking. I thought I was gonna put this in the song, but I went another route. They was just talking. Yeah, man, I was outside playing catch with my dad. This, that, blah, blah, blah. And they kept talking. I was like, yo, I ain't got no dad. It dawned on me. I'm in 6th grade, 12 years old. I'm just realizing I don't have a father. I started to tear up. Put my head on the desk, I'm crying. Substitute teacher says, it's a man, by the way. Just leave him alone. He just wants some attention. Now I'm getting angry. You see what I'm saying? Those emotions went from I'm hurting and I'm crying because of, you know what I mean, to anger because you think you know what I'm doing. Right? So now I feel, you know what I mean? It's a different feeling at this moment. You know?
Gunny.
Yeah, I'm listening.
This song, man, I wrote this song when my son died, and it's about he killed on a car accident about 6 years ago. And I don't sing, so Beav, don't criticize.
I will not.
Don't hurt
I
my
might
feelings.
run out of the room, but no.
I just want to let you all hear this, because this is what God taught me about emotions and the things that He put me through, you know, growing up. Because I told God He needed to apologize to me when my mom and daddy died. Even when my son, I said, hey, I got. That's just how I talk to him. But just see if this will play.
You playing it?
There are things in this life that try to pull you to the ground, pull you right onto the floor and turn your smile upside down. It doesn't matter what you're going through. If I bring you to the door, then I will walk with you. I just love the way you do it. I just love the way you smile. I just love the way you do it. Child, I just love the way you smile. Sometimes high up on a mountain top or in the valley low, covered up warm on the inside, stuck out in the cold. It doesn't matter what you're going through, even in the trials of life, I will walk with you. I just love the way you do it. I just love the way you smile. I just love the way you do it. I just love the way you smile. The winds of life are blowing all around. Fear and doubt, they try to pull you down. Just lift your head and heart to the sky, and I'll be the one who makes you smile. I just love the way you do it. I just love the way you smile. I just love the way you do it. I just love the way you smile.
Anyway, man, that's just about emotions coming out, man. When we let God just, it doesn't seem like the normal thing that God would make you smile. Your son did, but He does, and He takes everyone by experience if we're willing to let Him out.
Right.
You know, Paul was quite forceful, right? He didn't govern his forcefulness. He was just forceful for God. He's the same. He takes that same energy, whatever it is. He just wanna, if you say govern it, you wanna govern it for Him. That's all. But I just think that we, you know, heart. That's all. I keep coming across heart.
How do I put it? There's a song I did.
I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate every single one of y'all, man. It's taking time out your day, and it's knocking these interviews out, so we can have this footage and take in, and I work on the song, getting that even sweeter. You know what I'm saying? And catching the spirit of all this excellence in the room.